welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. How you been, girl? You been good?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Ready to go to a concert, so I'm just gonna be doing my makeup. But I'm like, why not do a video about going out? Because I get a lot of questions on my TikTok of girls saying, how do you go out by yourself? Oh, like, I'm scared to go out by myself, I'm so shy. Like, internally, when you get older, one of the things that you will find easy, or that comes easy to you, you care a lot less about what other people are thinking of you. The things that you thought in your early 20s that people cared about, okay? All of that literally goes out the window when you reach like a certain age in your 20s, like your late 20s. And I would say, like, if it hasn't, it's probably because you haven't been out enough to kind of put yourself through the ringer. You're not going to be able to learn about yourself, learn what you need to work on, learn on the things that bother you, learn on the things that bother you in other people, until you put yourself out there. That's the only way you're gonna learn and do better. You do things the next time, you'll know what to prepare for. The thing for me about going out by myself is like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want nobody to think that, oh, I don't have any friends, or I'm just like desperate, or I'm just this and that. The more I went out, the more I realized that there's tons of people that go out by themselves. People are full-grown adults with bills, okay? Bills, kids, debt, okay? The last thing they care about is somebody going out by themselves looking a certain way. Like, people go out to have a good time, forget a lot of things that might be taxing on the brain. So they don't really care about what you got going on. Having the anxiety of feeling like, oh my God, I need to talk to somebody, I need to mingle, whatever. This is something that resonates a lot with me. So if you're a girly that is kind of like socially awkward, literally having like a welcoming look like you're genuinely having fun, and not having the look of it, but like genuinely having fun, will attract people. If you are on the less sociable side and you don't really know how to approach people, start up a conversation with the bartender if you can. Like, are the guys in here cute? Like, start asking them questions about, like, you know, how the bar is or whatever. If they seem receptive, like, don't force them to have a conversation. But loosen up those chops, girl. Loosen up them chops. Get your brain going. Get the alcohol flowing. You know, get a little into it, and it's gonna attract people to come over and join in on the conversation, or, you know, attract people to, like, oh, look at her, she's smiling, she looks like she's having a good time, I want to go talk to her. Know your personality. Know your personality. If you're not like a whole social butterfly, don't feel like you have to be. Just kind of enhance the person that you are. And that will bring me to my next point, okay? Being safe, okay? And this is important, so don't skip over that. Don't skip over it. Sometimes you go somewhere and you think it's gonna be a vibe, and then you get there, you're like, what the hell is this? Definitely places that you can go solo that are fun, but there's other places that you just don't want to go solo by yourself, i.e. like in Philly, we would have like, you know, like the Section E clubs. And I mean, you can go to a section club by yourself, but for me personally, going to a section club by yourself, I just feel like it's a setting that is a little aggressive. In Philly, like, I feel like our section clubs really aren't like Miami section clubs, LA section clubs. Like, I feel like you go to those places, Vegas, like, those are like attraction-y places. So there's gonna be a lot of people there already as is. You can kind of blend in. The Philly section clubs, a lot of times they don't really attract a lot of people, if we being honest. And just to be on the safe side, you never really want people to know that you're out by yourself. If you were from a city where like the clubs go up, it's always crowded, it always brings a crowd, then you probably could blend in. I feel like a bar isn't bad because solo people go to the bar all the time. You want to make sure that you have backup in some way, shape, or form. If something was to go off, okay, pop off, how are you going to get home? If something was to pop off, how are you going to defend yourself? If something was to pop off, who are you going to call? Don't be shy to call 911. Don't be afraid to, oh, I don't want to come off like a wiener. I don't want to come off like, oh, I'm exaggerating. And I'd rather you be wrong about a situation and being overly zealous to defend yourself than not, okay? And remember that. When it comes to people approaching you and asking you if you're by yourself, so we all know at this point to tell people no, to say, oh, you know, no, I'm waiting for a friend, etc., etc. A lot of times, a man will kind of watch and see if that's true. Start making friends with the bartender or just someone that's there. In my case, I always say something like, oh, like, they might be like, oh, you here by yourself? I'm like, not really. Like, I know my friend is a bartender here. The DJ is my friend or something. Always make sure that you're in conversation with someone there. I know you're probably like, oh, I gotta make friends. No, you gotta make friends, but just make it known that you are not a target. Talking to a bouncer, talking to a bartender, somebody that's there and just strike up a conversation with them. Ask them a question about the venue, like, oh, is this a new event that y'all having or something? Or, oh, like, you know, just, especially if you're a pretty girl, you can strike up a conversation with anybody, okay? Anybody will be willing to talk to you. You have to make people know that you're not timid and that you're not scary, because the minute that a man who has bad intentions, once he feels like you're timid and you're not going to speak up for yourself, he's going to try, and we don't want him to try anything. So make your presence known amongst the people that work in the club or the venue or whatever. Obvious add-on, obviously don't leave your drink anywhere, or always have your drink in your hand. Not leave my sight. If I sit it down, I have my drink in front of me. I don't put it, if I'm sitting in the tables beside me and I put my drink down right here, I make sure I pivot myself so that I'm facing my drink. Personally, I'm not gonna tell you, oh, don't take drinks from guys ever because he's gonna drug yourself. Like, as many drinks as I've taken from guys and nothing has happened, I can't sit here and tell you don't do it, because I've done it. If you're gonna take a drink from a guy, make sure you watch the bartender make it and you let the bartender hand it to you in your hand, and that's it. Like, it's not going from person to person. He's not getting it first and bringing it back to your table where you're sitting. Go to the bar with him. Make sure that nothing is done spooky. And yeah, most of all though, don't be afraid to go out by yourself because you don't want to look a certain way, because literally no one cares. No one cares. And also, like, make it so that it's normalized within your life, so that no one can make you feel inferior about it. You know what I mean? Like, so the next point we're gonna do is the men's. I'm not gonna say that's why we go out. I go out for the vibes. I would say about 70% vibes, 30% men. 70%, 60%, 50, 40% vibes. Like, no, you are a girly that likes to be approached, be pursued. What you have to do is walk by them. And I know you're like, what? Walk by them? Yes. All you have to do is walk by them. And if he a carrier, he gonna carry. Especially if you're a girl that likes to be approached. You don't like to do the approaching. If he doesn't have, like, you know, the balls, or he's just too cool to approach, that's probably not the guy that you want. No, for sure, he's probably gonna look when you walk by him, because, you know, let's be honest, men be going out for the women a lot of times. So when he does that, you want to look at him. Do your thing. I don't need to tell you how to do the girl thing. Do the girl thing, okay? Do what we do. If you're a shy girly, and let's say you don't mind approaching, or you just want to approach him, I would say, like, don't even look at it like, oh, like, I gotta approach this guy, what am I gonna say? Literally, like, men are so receptive to, like, women who are really sweet. So if you want to be bold, if you see that he vibing to the music, he probably into the music. So if he's into the music, start dancing with him. Start dancing with him. If he kind of just standing there and he got a drink in his hand, I would say walk up to him and, like, hey, compliment him. Say, hey, hey, you so handsome, whatever. Give him a compliment. If he's at the bar, ask him what he's drinking. I wouldn't really recommend you go to anybody's house, but I know it happens. I know people do that. But like I said, just gauge the situation and make sure that you have some sort of backup if something was to happen. Like, always have a plan B in the back of your head, okay? But yeah, y'all, that's pretty much all the tips I have for y'all. If y'all want a part 2, if y'all have any specific questions, let me know. I'm gonna see y'all in my next video. Bye.